welcome back to another video, and today we will be doing a Reddit post again, and it's going to be Petty Revenge, r/Petty Revenge. And yeah, this is the story of a person who was annoyed at a teacher and made her look like a lunatic. Let's begin. This is my very first post, so I'm sorry if I make mistakes. English is not my first language. This all happened in the 90s when I was in middle school. I believe I was 11 years old. There was a teacher, we'll call Miss Weirdo, from another class who I've seen before but never interacted with much. I just knew who she was, and that's it. One day during a family get-together, we realized Miss Weirdo was a distant relative. Her sister is married to one of my grandmother's brothers. I was introduced to her, and the family was talking about how she had to take care of me when she sees me in school from now on. She smiled and agreed. From then on, I would see her everywhere, in the halls and near my classroom. During recess, it was really weird. She would just look at me and scold me if I was doing something she considered bad. If I was playing with my friend, she would tell me not to yell too much even though I was quiet, or if I was walking to the bathroom, she would make me go to class and saying I skipped class. She would stop me and compare how I was wearing my uniform to that of my friends. I was so frustrated, and I would tell my classroom teacher, but she didn't believe me, and I don't blame her. The situation was bizarre. Fast forward a couple months, my teacher went on a maternity leave, and Miss Weirdo ended up being my substitute teacher. She would make me change seats constantly because I was too loud, quote unquote, and would ask me if I knew the answer to her question every day, and kept telling me my uniforms were sloppy. We were kids. All my uniforms were sloppy. One day I had a sleepover with my best friend, and I accidentally forgot my school shoes at her house. My mom sent me with another pair, and I knew this was going to cause a problem. I called my best friend and told her to bring my shoes with her to school. When Miss Weirdo saw me with the incorrect shoes, she looked at me like it was Christmas for her. Now that I look back on it, I think she never escalated her behavior up until this point, because her complaints didn't match with my appearance. I was a tiny girl who looked way younger than I was, super quiet, and I liked to hug everyone. If she told my parents or my other teachers that I was causing her trouble, they would not believe her. So now she had physical proof that I broke a rule by using shoes that weren't part of the uniform. She yelled at me that I was in big trouble. She would make the principal come to the classroom, and they called my parents. As if that age my mom wouldn't know I dressed every day. I was pissed. When she left the classroom, my friend and I acted at the same time. I took off my shoes, but she opened the backpack, gave me the correct shoes, and hid the other ones. All in the others of the seconds, and while all of our classmates were watching us. When she came back with the principal, she just pointed at me and saying I disregarded the rules and all that they needed to call my mom, because obviously I was a rebellious child who did whatever she wanted. The principal just looked at me dramatically, scared and sad. My perfectly acceptable shoes and back at her. And the principal kept looking at her as if he were considering retiring because of her old age. Miss Weirdo turned around and yelled and looked at my shoes, and oh boy, did she yell at me. She yelled that I need to stop pretending to be a nice student, that I was trying to make her look bad, and took my backpack and started looking for the other shoes. The student's desk store stuff under the seats and under the table. All the while, the principal asked a couple of my classmates what was going on, and they just said Miss Weirdo always acted like this toward me. They never said I changed my shoes. It was amazing. The principal very gently took her outside and told us he would send another teacher for the day. She stopped being her substitute teacher after that. That day, I learned I have a super innocent looking face and I can get away with anything. I've used this gift for the past 20 years. Okay, honestly, I would give you like at least like 3 buttholes because that was kind of like not called for, but it was funny and I think she deserved it. And I give the substitute teacher slash like your relative 6 out of 10 buttholes because she's always saying you're rebellious and always saying like basically she was basically like picking on you, and yeah. Also, this is not I am the a-hole, it's petty revenge. It was the best revenge. We're gonna go on to another one. Boss went out of his way to be rude about a habit of mine. I do it every time I see him. I work at a computer all day most days. My desk setup wasn't the best, so my posture wasn't great. That caused a bit of physical discomfort, especially some shoulder pain. I fixed it since. Anyway, because of that, I have a habit of absent-mindedly rubbing my shoulder. One day, I did it while talking to my boss about some upcoming project. He went out of his way to mimic what I was doing back and to see me and be really condescending prick about it, saying, "What's this?" with a snarky tone. I didn't really react at all because he was so hostile about it out of nowhere. Even though I don't have any shoulder pain anymore, I do it every single time I see him. Passing in the hallways, rubbing my shoulder, him quietly popping in to mention something, rubbing my shoulder. In a meeting he's a part of rubbing my shoulder every single time. It's been a couple of weeks at this point. The first couple times he'd bring it up again, and I usually mentioned my shoulder pain. He doesn't even bother me anymore, but it visibly pisses him off. I have been looking for new jobs and have some interviews next week. When should I drop my notice on my desk? I think I might have a little shoulder pain. Honestly, that's funny. And I popped in this game because I had to do something, but I am going right back. Also, that was petty revenge and kind of a weird story. Now we're going to be reading about a toxic coworker. I've had a senior female coworker that likes to create and spread base-like rumors about others. I don't really care what she did to other people as long as it doesn't involve me. One day, a rumor about me was doing indecent behaviors with my girlfriend was spreading like wildfire. She told other people that me and my girlfriend were having the devil's tango at my workplace. It got so bad that my supervisor wanted to meet me. Before I met my supervisor, I traced back the rumor to her. During the first meeting, I told my supervisor that I did not do anything. And one day, I will make this female dog, or bitch, regret spreading lies about me. I told my supervisor all the lies and rumors that she spread in our workplace, including the rumors about my supervisor and how it impacted everyone. My supervisor was speechless because I am usually a pretty reserved person. She told me that she didn't believe the rumors because on my own track record, not to toot my own horn, I am an excellent employee, never took an emergency leave, never calling in sick. One night during a night shift, I was working with the bad person. I put on a noise-canceling headphones and blasted the whole place all night long with songs by System of a Down and Eminem just to torture her. Psychologically, apparently she tried to leave the workplace and called the supervisor to complain about the loud music, but she ignored it. She complained to her husband too, the next parking lot, and asking me what's the problem with his wife. I don't have any problem with your wife. Why do you ever ask her? I replied. He tried to follow me and I flipped him off. The next day, he came at my workplace and tried to attack me. I purposely made sure that everything was recorded by the CCTV camera at this place. He shoved me and I whispered to him, "You're fricked now. Look at the CCTV and I will make sure your wife will get fricked too." He got angry and shoved me again, but my coworkers got involved. The next day, my boss calling for a meeting and I told her everything and showed her the CCTV camera. I told that jerk that I will file a police report soon and sue the hell out of your husband, and good luck taking care of your kids when your husband is not in prison. She was begging me not to do it. I gave her the ultimate apologize and don't ever come near me near me. She agreed and said, "Let this be a lesson not to spread rumors about others. Someday you will meet a person like me too." 2 weeks after the incident, she got moved into a different department, and everyone that she wronged is thanking me. Sorry for my shitty English, not my first language. Okay, I give you full props. That is the best revenge I have ever heard. It's not petty, it's the best. It's the best. And we're gonna be doing one more, depending how much time this video lasts. I got the middle finger and I returned the favor was another story. I am someone in my late 20s, brown fellow living in the South. I have been a regular at this small restaurant for a few years and usually sit at a bar. Sunday morning, I walk in and sit at the bar. Directly behind me is a booth with 4 ladies in their 20s having breakfast. I don't really pay much attention to them. Then, the restaurant is pretty busy and all of the waitresses are running around. I make my small talk with the waitress, get my coffee, and order the food. As I wait, at some point the ladies behind me had finished their food, left the booth, and walked out. The table was being cleaned by another waitress, and she finds a plate of glass and asks the waitress who had just left and are probably still outside in the parking lot. And the waitress asked me if I could flag them down and give the glasses back. So being friendly, I got the glasses, walked outside, and found the ladies pulling out from their parking spot. As I tried to flag them down to get their attention, the 2 ladies in the front seat make eye contact, starting to laugh and then hit the glass without stopping. The one in the back yelled something, giving me the middle finger. I said screw it and threw the glasses in the trash and walked back in the restaurant. Minutes later, I am back inside eating my food. I see one of the ladies walk back inside talking to the hot hostess, and she points to the waitress that had the table and inquiring about the glasses. I'm not going to lie, I felt good when, sorry, I passed it. The waitress asked what I had done with the glasses. I told them I put them in the trash outside when they gave me the middle finger. I didn't get an apology, the girl just walked out. A few minutes go by and they come back in asking which trash can I put glasses into it. I still hadn't gotten an apology, so I gave them what they gave me right back, the middle finger left. TLDR gave me the middle finger when I tried to return the glasses. They were thrown in the trash and I gave them the middle finger back. And they came looking for them. So basically what happened was the waitress asked him to flag them down. He or she helped get the glasses, try to flag them down. They gave the person that lost the glasses gave them the middle finger, threw it away, and then he gave them karma, or gave them what he got right back, the middle finger, the fuck you, I hate you, yeah. Sweet revenge, I love these. Okay, so there's this one. Petty Revenge by Mufasa 1. Go, I don't know, look at their posts. Not exactly revenge, but definitely petty. Kids tried to get away with breaking shit. A few days ago, I was at a Motex sort of out of the way to get some food to break my fast. We are all tired, and we just want to finished praying. It was time to eat. The line was crowded and hindering the volunteers who were bringing the food out. As we passed out our plates, there were these kids who were playing with a water bottle, except they were throwing it at each other's feet hard. I was about to tell them to stop, but since this was the Motex I usually volunteer for, and considering I knew family there, I did not want to offend any parent, and they're not my kids anyway. Not even 20 seconds later, I hear a thump followed by the sound of glass breaking and a gasp. Everyone in line woke up and looked right out of the basement. These kids ran, yelling, and some kind of kid named Isa did it. I grabbed the shoulder of the first kid as they tried to flee the crime scene and asked them where they were going, and sent all of the kids back downstairs, and they all went back down, followed by their parents. It's not super exciting, but it was hilarious because surprisingly, these kids listen to me. It actually works with high schoolers who try to wrestle, and trust me. They don't understand the concept of liability. I sort of felt bad for the kids and getting them in trouble, but I wanted them to take the responsibility for their actions and be truthful about it, because accidents happen. You get scolded for a little bit, and then you move on and avoid the same thing. It's the future, yes, and yeah, they're kids, but that's not an excuse for them to break shit. Okay, that was funny. You put them in downstairs with the parents following, and they just you have to leave kids accountable. They need to learn how to be accountable for their actions, or else they're just gonna be like, oh, I can break stuff and get away scot-free. No, kid, that's not how this works. But let's go on to the next one. I go for the most interesting ones, and this one is from Petty Revenge, or /Petty Revenge, remember? I got an annoying prick kicked out of the nightclub I worked at. I work at a nightclub part-time as floor staff. My job is to collect empty cups and generally clear up after all the unnecessary drunk people. This particular night, my mood was slowly going down, mostly because I had to vomit 3 times before the incident, 6 times total by the end of the night. I am walking through the dance floor with a half basket of cups, doing my usual route for the 100th time, and I feel a tug on my hair. My hair is about shoulder length, not too long and but not quite long for a guy. I whipped around to see a guy laughing. I instantly say don't as sternly as I can. He just goes ooh like a child who is in trouble and doesn't care, and just continues laughing. I instantly turn around and grab the security. Luckily, there was one posed just a few feet away. From where this happened, I pointed to the guy and said, "Kick him out." The bouncer then starts escorting him through the dance floor and out into the alleyway. The alleyway leads to the exit and entrance. I start to go back to my job, but I can't drop off the basket and head to the staff smoking area to stay calm. I take deep breaths and then sit down for a moment with my head in my hands. After a couple of minutes, I've got to calm down. On the way back, I see the guy with his friends talking to the bouncer that escorted him off the dance floor and passed them on the way grabbing something opposite their direction. I then run into my manager, who then asks me what happened with the guy outside. I tell him I just kicked the guy out. He says he wants to know what happened first. I tell him the quick version of what happened in a rather pissed off tone and start to go back to my job. At this point, I am really pissed again and having trouble getting back to the level of calm I work with. I have to pass the guy, and he actually apologizes, saying he was just messing around, and reaches his hand out for me to shake it. I take a deep breath and take a second to think. I think I should stay. Any other day I would let it go, but today I was already in a terrible mood. Then he tells the bouncer to just kick him out and move on, but instead I shake his hand away and say it's alright and go back to work. Still seething and now in the worst mood I've ever been in a long time, I catch up with my friend from a secondary school and tell him what happened. He's sympathetic and tells me to take more time to calm down. I still work, but I'm feeling much better, thinking because he apologized, he is probably back on track on the dance floor, learning his drunk lesson. While on my route, I passed the bouncer that escorted him, and I asked him how it went. He said after he got the guy kicked out and apologized, I have the biggest grin on my face, and later my manager notices it. He says that I told him what happened. He got the head bouncer and told him to kick him out. Then the head bouncer told him, "You don't touch staff," and told them to leave. Then, because the guy that did it and his friend both got kicked out. I felt bad for the friend because he didn't do anything, but also he didn't do anything. He could have stopped or at least chastised his friend for what he did. But he didn't say anything to him or me when it happened. He wasn't banned, but my mood quickly went from awful to satisfied real quick. TLDR, a guy tugs staff's hair as a joke. Staff gets security. Security gets them to apologize and still kicks them out anyway with their friend. And I call that petty revenge. Very, very petty. I guess like they were drunk and they really couldn't control themselves, but still, I mean, it's kind of a worker and they really don't touch workers, no touching workers, and don't play around. But at least he apologized. I mean, with other people they get violent, so yeah, I would be happy they apologized, and I would let them just like sit down in a food area and let them like chill out, maybe drink some water from the poison they're consuming. Anyways, I'm gonna be reading one last one and then we will be ending off. I'm gonna find a good one. I think I found a good one, entitled Mother Let Her Kids Into My Garden. I am 29 years old and don't have any kids, but have my younger sister, who is 16, living with me for around 10 years, and we have a trampoline still in our back garden from when she was younger. A neighbor to the left of me has 4 kids and moved in a year ago, 2 years ago. Glasgow started getting really good weather, so the kids have been outside constantly. Not an issue. They asked if they could let the kids use the trampoline once a day, so I was like, sure, but only for a little bit because I have friends coming over for some drinks. 7 p.m. comes, I ask them to go home because the 5 friends have shown up and we're going to be drinking. Cue the crying. They leave the garden upset, but hey, that's not my issue. They've been on it for 3 hours. And at this point, their mom and pop heads out here her bedroom window and asked if they can stay in longer. No, I'm not your babysitter. She looks annoyed but drops it. Last week I come home from some shopping and to my surprise I found the 4 kids in the garden, plus their younger cousin, and I asked them to leave and tell them they can't just come into my garden without me there, and they didn't even ask. They refused to leave, and I shout at their mom and tell them to tell her to get them out of the garden. She tells them, let them play a bit. You don't even use it. Okay, but still, it's not your garden. Eventually we get into an argument and they leave. She's pissed off and shouting that I am being a Karen, quote unquote, and I should not let them in. I tell her not to ask again because they'll answer what will be no. This happens again the day after. All of the 4 kids plus their cousin waiting till I move the car from the drive and heading straight into the garden. So I woke up the next morning, put a surveillance camera and a lock on the trampoline, just a small one, and to match safety enclosures to stop them from opening it. Great. Okay, sorry. It was a Saturday and I'm not working. My day off and I want a long life. But no, my neighbor decides that at 9 a.m. this morning, her kids are being fired straight out of the house with breakfast bars and a bottle of water, and they can head straight into my garden. So I can hear them from outside my window. I look and tell them to leave, but by the time I get downstairs, my mom has descended from her house and is trying to climb the fence between our gardens, shouting about how I used to let them use it, and she is going to call the police for hitting her kid. Great. You can do that. I'll be sure to show them the Ring camera footage, which coincidentally also has footage of your husband picking the lock open so your brats can use the trampoline. Long story short, entitled Mother Sends Her Kids Into My Garden repeatedly even after being told no, calls the police on me for harassing her kids, and ends up getting her own husband arrested for theft and house breaking and criminal damage. Suck it, bitch. Have had people asking me why I didn't give them the trampoline. She has a V-shaped garden and the smallest one on the street. Trampoline wouldn't fit there. Plus, I'd already gave her an old bike and swing set for her kids. That was not petty revenge. That was the funniest. Okay, so basically, she has camera footage. She could show them, and these people are being stupid because they would realize that there is a camera and Ring. Because the Ring, basically we have Ring in my house too, and basically it's just a camera to see what happens, and this bitch is literally the most stupidest fucker I have ever heard of. She says, her allegations against this person not letting her in the garden is that, first, they should let the kids play in the garden, and that when the person that owns the garden tells her no, she proceeds to commit a crime, and breaking and entering and picking a lock. and her husband is stupid as because like she could have. They did not think twice to think that like they don't have surveillance cameras. They do have surveillance cameras. This is the funniest stuff I heard all day. This dad's stupid, this mom's stupid, and he deserves for theft or whatever charges he got, and the children, yes, and the mother is entitled. I would not say this is petty revenge. I would say this is an amazing revenge. I feel like this is where I'm going to end off the video. Every obstacle you face, you overcome. And make sure to go follow me on PicsArt. It's ArtistLover35 or 34. Search that up if you want to. Go to my TikTok, ArtistLover34, or Jocelyn Moncrief, JOCELYN MONCRIEF. And make sure to follow me on DeviantArt, which is Anime Lover. I'm gonna have a go check. Sorry, it is Jocelyn Anime Wolf Fan. Make sure to follow me on my socials. Follow ArtistLover34 on TikTok and PicsArt, and follow me, Jocelyn Anime Wolf Fan, on DeviantArt. You can see cool drawings. And I also have me in Demon Slayer. My person drawing. It's basically a drawing of I guess a drawing of a person that looks like Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail, holding Uzui Tengen's nunchucks or whatever he uses, and a drawing of Uzui Tengen, and much more. My favorite one is my profile picture. I also drew Komi Can Communicate and other anime characters. And I attempted to draw a planet, but kind of failed, but people liked it, so I guess I have a small following right now, and I'm hoping I can get more people to watch my stuff. Maybe I can like expand my channel. Maybe. I would love to see new friends, new faces. Make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Every obstacle you face, you can overcome.